And a federal appeals court is overturning a conviction in a murder case that's made headlines for decades. Pedro Hernandez was convicted of killing 6-year-old Etan Patz, who disappeared while walking to his bus stop in 1979. Hernandez was convicted in 2017, but now the court's ordering he get a new trial or be released. Chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky is here with more on that. Aaron, what's the latest here?
The federal appeals court said there was an error by the trial judge, Diane. During jury deliberations, jurors sent a note to the judge asking about Pedro Hernandez's confessions, and there were two different ones. One was on video. Everybody saw it, and it was hard to overcome for the defense. But the first confession that Pedro Hernandez gave came before he was read his Miranda rights. And so the jury wanted to know if that confession was improper, because he was never read his rights, did they automatically have to disregard the other one? And the judge at the time simply answered no. The federal appeals court said that instruction was clearly wrong and was manifestly prejudicial to Pedro Hernandez, and so they ordered either a new trial or his release. He's so far served about 13 years of a 25-year-to-life sentence.
The district attorney's office says it's reviewing the case, but Hernandez's lawyers are calling for them to drop the charges completely, calling them misguided. So what happens next here, Aaron?
So it's really up to the Manhattan district attorney's office to decide whether to put Pedro Hernandez on trial again, or maybe even try to appeal the decision to all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, if it should come to that. Because the Manhattan DA's office believes that Pedro Hernandez is the one who abducted and murdered Etan Patz. He was the first missing child whose face ever appeared on a milk carton, really changed the way the country responds to missing children. It was an important case because Pedro Hernandez, until 2017 or so, shortly before, was never on the radar. But after the NYPD made a go of searching a basement in Soho, here in Lower Manhattan, that's when a relative and someone in his church group came forward to say, hey, this guy Pedro Hernandez has told us that he did it. And that's when the case kind of broke wide open.
Aaron, this case has stretched on now for more than 45 years. Etan Patz was the first missing child whose picture was printed on milk cartons. So why has it been so hard to definitively crack this case?
There's no physical evidence. That's been the most nagging part. And so there was a suspect who was sort of long believed to have done it, and it turned out he wasn't the guy. And then everything kind of went cold. They've never even found the body. So the purported confession of Pedro Hernandez was an incredible break for investigators. But the judge said it was obtained improperly, and that's where sort of the confusion comes in. So the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is going to keep on this. They say they're reviewing the case. They're trying to figure out what to do now. It's hard to imagine they want to let it go, but it has been 13 years in prison so far for Pedro Hernandez. The Patz family has moved away from New York, finally believing they had closure and justice. It's not clear they would want to go through another trial, so the next step really is unclear, Diane.
All right, Aaron Katersky, thank you.